Hello, and welcome to another edition of Pioneer Valley Life. I'm your host, James Sullivan. We're here in the studios of Easthampton's eMedia. Today, my guests are from the Easthampton Council on Aging and Enrichment Center, also known as the Senior Center here in Easthampton. And my guests are Dawn Graichen-Moore and Ashley Fraga. And these days, certain statistics indicate there's a very large growing older population now in cities, percentage-wise, than what there used to be. So there are a lot more people that are looking for services that might be offered at the senior center. It's Betty Davis, the actress Betty Davis, once had a famous saying that said, old age ain't no place for sissies. So a lot of people are familiar with that. Mm-hmm. And, myself being almost 78 years old, I'm constantly trying to adapt to changes that occur because I'm aging and the population is aging. So it's important to have somebody available like the Senior Center to offer services. So Dawn, you are the program manager.
I am.
So maybe you can tell us about some of the services from a program manager standpoint that's offered by the Senior Center.
Sure, and maybe actually because we represent a lot of what's offered at the Senior Center, but not all.
Okay.
So our Senior Center serves everyone in Easthampton 55 and up, and we also serve folks that don't live in Easthampton. They come and join us for things too, which is wonderful. But our focus is Easthampton folks 55 and up. We provide transportation services. We provide programming and social activities, things for people to connect, and then we also provide a lot of outreach services. I think with the overall goal of supporting folks 55 and older, being able to connect, to have healthy, active lives, to live in their home, to connect to others. And so I think that's our overall goal, I would say. So neither of us oversee the transportation necessarily, but as far as programming, we do trips, we have art classes, we have talks on different health topics or just things people might be interested in. We have a lot of social groups.
Am I recording?
And we also have a lot of exercise classes and walking groups. So we try to provide a really broad range of activities that help people with both what they need and want to know, and also to connect with others and be healthy and active. Our programming comes from, we've had a lot of programming that's been consistent for years and years and years, and we're also constantly taking suggestions because we're constantly changing. The needs of folks 55 and up are constantly changing. So our goal is if we can get people in here and we can help them with what they need and connect to others, we feel like we've done our job. So I would say that drives a lot of the programming.
Right.
And there's everything from a walking group to bingo to a talk on how to plan your garden landscaping by color, or balance and or mental acuity as you age. It's sort of a really broad range, or a watercolor class. It's all over the place, but with intention of trying to make sure we have a little something for everybody, and that we're a place people can feel comfortable and welcome and connect with each other and get what they need.
Right. So in case a lot of people are wondering where you are, you're in the old post office building at 19 Union Street.
Sure.
We are.
And are there any, I know I've heard of perhaps plans for some other place at some point in the future. Is that in the works?
So right now there's an ad hoc building committee that's meeting that the mayor and our director helped form, of constituents, board members, myself, our director, other local interested parties, and it's open to the public. People are welcome to come to talk about the needs as our population grows and changes, and also what people want in the senior center and how that should inform what happens next. We have our building is wonderful in a lot of ways and has a lot of challenges. We had a yoga class going on right before Ashley and I left, and it's a wonderful, thriving yoga class on our main floor, which is where we can host it. And people are walking in and out and having conversations. It's not a classroom, so there are challenges to the building beyond that. I would encourage anyone that's interested to take a look at the ad hoc building committee meeting minutes, to come to a meeting, to ask questions. They're always welcome to come in and talk with any of us, our director especially, to let us know what they need. There is conversation about what the future could look like.
Right. People
should participate. Let us know what they would like.
Right. So Ashley, you as the outreach coordinator.
I am.
What do you oversee?
I am in the trenches with the folks. I help a lot with benefits counseling, as far as seeing what benefits are available, such as SNAP benefits or DTA. Medicare and Medicaid, I'm a Shine, serving the health insurance needs of everyone, counselor certified. So during open enrollment and when folks are turning 65, I can assist with getting them signed up with Medicare and kind of overview of a lot of the different insurances that are available out to them. A lot of the, I mean, I haven't said no to anyone coming in that has an issue, honestly. If I can't figure out, or I will find a way to find someone that knows what to do in the next step. But a lot of what I do is hands-on with the folks, doing a lot of application assistance, fuel assistance, just making sure that the folks have access and know about the resources that are available to them.
I think that's the big thing. It's just letting people know what is available.
Yes,
a lot of people don't know.
There's changes. Medicare just made a huge change
right.
in Medicaid for the asset limit for the Medicare Savings Buy-in Program. That the asset limit was taken away, so that opens the door for a lot of folks to get assistance with those deductibles and premiums, co-payments from Medicare, which is a big help.
Yeah. And I imagine not only are there individuals that can benefit from the services offered, the families of those individuals.
Yes, I see.
You can take a lot of load off of those families.
Mm-hmm. And that's what it's all about. I always tell, a lot of these applications can be very overwhelming, and the amount of information can be very overwhelming. So I try to simplify it as best as I possibly can, with just making sure I tell them, this is all I need you to gather of your personal documents, so that I will get the application. All you got to do is sign in. I'll get it out and get it to where it needs to be, so that it eases the process for a lot.
Right. It does. It does.
It can be very overwhelming. I can. You see a mass health application and it's 45 pages long, and people are like, "Oh my goodness!" But when you have someone to kind of guide you through it and help you along with it, it takes a load off.
Yeah. Well, speaking personally, because my life revolves around Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security and SNAP and fuel assistance, all of that stuff. For somebody my age, that's how I can live, plain and simple.
And to navigate it can be difficult sometimes on your own. That's why I always say, when it comes to kind of having difficult situations, I always say I don't mind a good argument with DTA or a Medicare representative if it needs to get, it's some people, I don't mind doing the hard work, the actual work to get the services and benefits that you're allotted.
Because it's not automatic.
No.
There's a process you have to go through.
It's, calling, and I think especially after COVID, those wait times can be excruciating sometimes, and who wants to sit for an hour and a half on the phone waiting for someone to pick it up. And that's where I come in. I don't mind sitting and waiting. It's just having a bridge between the agency that they're trying to get the benefits from and someone who knows how to talk and how to express that for them, whereas someone might not know exactly what to ask for.
Right. So if somebody has a need of your services, do they necessarily need to have an appointment? Can they walk in?
So I actually have what's called walk-in Wednesdays. I'm there all day, except of course my lunch break, but you can walk in at any point in time. For certain things like health insurance, I do like an appointment. It's easier for an appointment just because it can be an hour, it can be 2 hours. It really depends on the scope of it, and I don't really know until I start asking the questions at the visit. So I do have walk-in Wednesdays. which is kind of on a first come, first serve. But contacting me, leaving me a voicemail, I do get back same day usually. And we can set something up that way, because I'd like to have an idea of what is needed so that I can allot the time for it.
Right. Yeah, because different people have different needs.
Yep, and
And at different times in their
different
lives.
times. Not only that, agencies themselves have different calling times that are more busier than the other. So if
bet.
it's like if it's a SNAP problem and we want to call SNAP, I want to get you in as soon as we possibly can, so that we can get into those wait call queues much earlier. Same with Social Security. I think we all know about waiting online for Social Security or anything like that. A big thing that I'm trying to do as well is also help folks get situated online with a lot of these things. That way we can expedite the process that much quicker.
Right, right. Yeah, getting people to just get used to being online and doing something, rather than in the old days you had to find the office first off and then try to get in and talk to somebody. But now, because it's online and just navigating through some of the phone systems these days that people use
Yes,
is a
even
real
automated
challenge.
systems, yeah.
Yeah,
You can press a button and God only knows where you go.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. And then all of a sudden the line goes dead.
Yes.
You go,
Or
"Whoops,
hangs
gotta
up and
start
I'm
again."
sorry, you've been waiting too long, call
Right,
back.
right.
Those are the best.
Right, right. So outreach, that's a very important role, just to, from services like you described. From the programming standpoint, that's things that people can come in and an activity that they can take part in.
Generally, there's definitely some overlap. Like Ashley is doing some great work too to help people think about the questions they might have as they age, or how to set themselves up, say, to think about housing as they age. And so we'll work together to do programming that is both programming and outreach, and helping folks connect to each other and to understand what they're going to need, or have forums for asking the questions that they want to ask. And you do a good job of pulling people in to come talk about stuff you don't know about, and talking. I mean, I think that's what I would say about Ashley is, even if it's not Medicare or housing or SNAP, if there's something you're trying to sort out, you can come to her, and if she doesn't know how to do it, she will find out who you need to talk to. And I think that is a really huge resource, because navigating all of the changes and all of the legislation and all of the financial pieces of all of these things in modern life are complicated. And I think that is a really huge value to the folks of Easthampton, that they can come talk to Ashley and her coworker Linda, and if they don't know, they will help you figure it out. So you're not alone. You're not trying to do it yourself. If
Right.
you want, you can have some help.
So I imagine that sometimes just having a program to introduce people to what services might be available from Ashley, so that a group of people can come in and say, this is, to find out what's available, and then they can proceed then to make individual appointments. So
Yeah.
running a program that explains the outreach side of things
Yeah.
is important.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're a good pair. We've done trips together and been able to go do a fun activity, and also have some conversations with folks over dinner. So we try to match up what we're doing so that it works together. We use both of our strengths, I think.
Yeah. So I know you have a fitness center there as well,
We do, yes.
and that's I think that's on a yearly membership, is it?
So it is for Easthampton residents. It's $75 a year to use the fitness center anytime we're open, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. But you can pay in installments as well, and so you don't have to pay the whole $75 up front. Our goal is that if that is something that works for you, that we can make it work so that you can come in and do what you need to do. We've also been partnering with the Hampshire Regional YMCA. Their instructors run a lot of our fitness classes, as well as a few longtime instructors that are amazing. But they also do fitness assessments. So for folks that are coming into the gym who maybe want to talk with someone who's an expert about, these are my goals and this is what I'd like to do, can you help me figure out a routine? So we have some services available for folks that are, trying to stay healthy and figure out what that means as things change.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Things change. Like you say, you start with people at 55.
Yeah.
And somebody 75. Those 20 years is a big difference. Is what could happen in those people's lives.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say a lot of our fitness instructors, I mean, we have wonderful long-term instructors, but all of them are well-versed in aging and balance and how to think about, building muscle in a healthy way and staying fit and strong as you age. And so we're really fortunate. Our fitness instructors are great.
Yeah.
So
The whole idea is just changing the stigma kind of around senior centers. They're not, I feel like some people think it's like, oh, the senior center. And it's like, no, we're doing a lot. It's fun. Like if I could be a member of it in part, in just on my own, I would love it. It's kind of changing the idea of what a senior center is. It's not, a place where everyone can, you can go play pinochle if you want, but we're also doing trips and we're having, we're doing fun things and it's informative. We're having talks, we're having the people talking about the topics that you want discussed.
Yeah, I would say the other thing too that is really wonderful is we have participants that come and teach and share. So it's, I think our goal is that it's thriving. People 55 and older are thriving. We want to help them continue to thrive and share their gifts and knowledge and also be able to provide the services they need. So the more, my favorite, honestly, is when someone comes to me and they're like, oh, I have this skill. Would you mind if I taught a class? I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. Please come share. Like, there's so much, people have so much to share, especially if you've lived at least 55 years or more, you've had a lot of a life experience.
Right.
And we really appreciate that.
I find that, society these days, there is, like you say, stigma about, number one, aging. Number two, people say, oh, senior center, I don't belong there. I don't need to go there. I don't need that. But in other societies or cultures, someone of an advanced age is referred to as an elder, and there's a certain amount of respect that comes with being called an elder. So there, elderly is something different, but an elder is someone to be respected in the community for what they have to offer.
Yeah.
So it's great that you probably have a lot of elders who are working with other elders, in just trying to, get through life. That's great.
Yeah.
Community helping community is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And getting back to that.
Yeah. And there's a big movement these days. A lot of people want to stay in their homes as long as they possibly can. And they need help doing that sometimes. It's a challenge. Whether, trying to find the right apartment with the right amenities, all of that impacts their daily life. And some days it can be a struggle. It can be hard. It can, getting old can be hard.
It can.
Well, that's one of the things, we have a lot of things to offer, but we do have a pretty robust transportation program for Easthampton folks, so they can get to groceries, people can get to doctor's appointments, they can get to some other things. It's relatively cost affordable, and they don't need to have a car. They don't have to be able to drive, and it just allows flexibility for folks to get what they need in an autonomous way. We also have a wonderful companion program that's staffed by volunteers. So for rides that we can't provide, sometimes we have volunteers who are vetted that can provide those rides as well. So one of the goals of that, I think that is a huge thing that we offer, and the goal is that people can continue to do their things, do what they need, and stay in their homes and be part of the community.
Right. And the other thing is that one thing that faces a lot of people in their later years is loneliness. It can be a big issue with a lot of people. So you can get around that just by going to the Council on Aging and Enrichment Center on Union Street and join with other people. And just that has a lot to adding a quality to life, or maintaining a certain quality of life that people want to maintain. Yeah.
That's a big topic of discussion now, is solo aging, because we have a lot more solo agers now.
Yeah.
And that's definitely something that's coming in that I've been thinking about. How do we cater to those folks that, not necessarily want to come and do things, and sometimes you gotta talk to them and say, hey, it's a community thing, and you might find something that you didn't know that you liked before, and now you do. We had a gentleman come in first time at the senior center with his daughter, and he was a hoot. We had an art class going on, and he came and joined in, and he loved it. He's been back about four or five times now since then.
Yeah.
And it's just, sometimes you don't know if you don't know if you don't try.
Right.
Yeah.
And you
Right.
could be pleasantly surprised at the different types of personalities and who you can get, who you click with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
I think that might be one of my favorite things is when we've done something where people have met and then we find out, they're going to lunch or they shared a meal or they go walking regularly or that, it's not about us. It's just, we're just trying to provide a place for folks to connect, and hopefully they do, and that can be continued beyond, just coming into the senior center, which
I think one thing COVID brought to light was how isolating it can be. And I think our older adult population got hit pretty hard with that socialization piece kind of being taken away. So that's my goal, is to get them all back out and socializing with each other again. Because we have the boomers are here. The boomers are here.
Right. Looking at the website, I noticed that one of the best things, the Silver Circle newsletter, really is something that people should really pay attention to.
Yeah.
Because that spells out just about everything that's going on there month by month. And it was like the one I looked at was like 10 pages long. It wasn't like there was just 1 or 2 pages of a couple of things.
Yeah.
It was 10 pages of activities that ranging from bus trips somewhere that you can go with a group of people somewhere, or just other visits to whatever, and classes that people can take, appointments with you to find out about whatever they want to find out about.
Information in general.
So I would encourage anybody watching this program to go to the website and subscribe to the Silver Circle newsletter.
Yeah.
And then you'll and pay attention to it, because some things happen every Monday, some things happen every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Sometimes there's things that only happen now and then, but the only way you can really take advantage of that is by following it, because it's not like they're going to walk by
And know what's
Union
going
Street
on.
every day and see a billboard out front that says what's going on.
Well, and I will say, we highly encourage anyone who is doing email to sign up on our website. There's a link to put your email in, and the newsletter will get delivered to you when it's published, when we put it out. But we do also do a print newsletter. There's a little box right in front of 19 Union Street where we put each new issue, but also you can pick it up at Big E's and Big Y and Easthampton Savings Bank and Florence Bank. So we try to spread the paper newsletters out around town, deliver them to where people go.
Yep.
But I do highly recommend, even for folks that prefer the paper one, if they do email, just get the email, because then you know when it's out. And then you can go get your paper one. We try to get it out a week to a week and a half before the beginning of each month. But some of the things like the trips, which are really popular, fill up super fast. So it's definitely something if you're interested, or it's the best way to know what's going on with us each month is to either pick up a copy of that or subscribe to the email newsletter.
Right. Yeah, because I think at some point in the past you used to mail them out, but it says that became not feasible anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately, no. So
Yeah.
the best way is to pick it up or get
Yeah.
it by email. Folks are always welcome to call our main number and talk to the receptionist. If you have a question and you're not totally sure, you can call our main desk. Our main desk is amazing. They know how to direct things. They can answer almost anything. They probably know as much, if not more, than Ashley and I do about what's happening on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So those are the best ways to find out. But that newsletter, thank you, is a great way.
Plus, I notice you probably have classes that will help people just to get online to begin with, to know what email is, how to use email, or how to look for things, through searches on whatever, they might use.
Yeah, we do have a wonderful person named Jessie who is doing tech help on Wednesdays. You can sign up for an appointment. You can come in with your device, your phone, your tablet, your laptop. It's a little harder on a desktop computer. But you can bring in your thing and say, this is the problem I'm having, and he will help you. I would also say that the public library in Easthampton, which is an amazing partner, an amazing resource, they also have technology drop-in hours you can sign up. And so there are a couple places in town where you can get help figuring out how to do things online.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's one of the challenges for older people, I think, is just getting used to what online actually means.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
luckily I came across it, you know, quite a few years ago, so, you know, I'm not an expert, but I mean, I'm comfortable with it. But I know that there are a lot of people who are not
Yeah.
very comfortable with it and just will drop it because they're afraid of it, you know.
Yeah.
But there's an awful lot of things that can be accomplished online as long as you know some of the things that also that are lurking out there online.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure you probably let people know about some of those things as well.
Yeah, and we've had some different talks on fraud and fraud prevention, and that is, you know, someone calling you up on the phone and also, you know, someone sending you an email.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot tied into that. So we do that pretty, I would say seasonally. We do something around fraud protection, just so that people are aware, because it is constant learning. It's constant learning for us. And we do constant training about cyber attacks and things like that with, you know, our email. There's so much to learn. And that's true for everybody. Anybody who's using technology, it constantly is changing.
Yeah,
So.
individuals have contacted me about mailers that they've got, phone calls that they've got, and I have them come in. We talk about it. I call these individuals directly, and we have these conversations. Or, you know, I kind of set that standard when I call these scammers to let them know I'm on to you. Please stop. I now. So I mean, and then we report it to the FC, and then all that good stuff. So I mean, I've had a few people already. A lot of them are Medicare mailers and all that good stuff. So I mean, the biggest thing, if anything comes to you and you don't know what it is, you can give us a call. I can definitely troubleshoot for you and find out what that is, and if we can't, we report it to the government.
Yeah.
And let them know what's
Yeah.
going on.
No, I have friends that eventually, sometimes they'll forward something to me and go, does this look legit? You know. And
Yeah, the thing, I think what's scaring people now more so is the mailers, the actual mailers that are coming out, talking about life insurances, and a lot of folks are like, well, I don't have a life insurance policy. Well, it doesn't pertain to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I think it's that peace of mind that I think, you know, when you get something in the mail that's like, hey, you need to pay your premium, it's fear-based. So they're going to use a fear-based tactic so that you give up your information. If they can't give you any of your information, they're going to ask for it. And I think that's the key, is me finding those folks that need that help. So let's call together and see what it is that they need.
Right. Yeah, that's important. Yeah. Not only for
And
for elders, but for
for
anybody.
everybody.
Yeah. for
Anybody
everybody.
who's
Yeah,
online.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, just to kind of review a couple of things, your Dawn and Ashley, you both work at the Easthampton Council on Aging and Enrichment Center,
Yes.
and it's at 19 Union Street.
Yeah.
They can visit the website, find out a lot more information. They'll find out a phone number. They'll find out contact information for both of you. And the fact that you both offer extremely valuable help to senior citizens is important. I applaud both of you.
Thanks for having us.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for being here. Yeah.